Thank you, Luke. I think next is my turn. So my name is Uyen. I'm from learning design team. So I'm a learning designer slash multimedia designer. So mostly we collaborate with the many academics from different schools to create like an engaging learning sequence and also interactive activities. Next, please. So there are three main ways that I use ChatGPT to like do everything I do daily life. Just like crafting the scenario, crafting the activities. So I use it to help me with the explanation, with an analogy, and then I use ChatGPT to create examples or scenarios from the concept that the student need to understand. And finally, is like use it to quickly create activities so I can throw in ideas and bouncing feedback from the lecturers. Next, please. So my first way is explanation with an analogy. So I use this because we have a lot of courses, right? And a lot of like new concept for us and also for the students. And you can see the prompt here is we're trying to explain the SEO so that I can understand and also the student can understand easily. And next, please. So SEO is a kind of hard to understand term. It's like search engine optimization. So it's kind of abstract, but ChatGPT explained it to me. Like imagine you are in a city, and a city will have locations, right? You will have shops location, and you have to compete for the top location, like a prime location, and it's exactly what search engine optimization is. You compete for the good spot on search engine like Google, and I'm highlighting the point here that ChatGPT give me. So you can see that I can understand the concept quickly, and starting from that point as an inspiration, I can use it to craft the narrative, to going through the model. And also since I already understand the concept quickly, I can create activities going from here. Next, please. Another way to use ChatGPT to explaining things to me is to making sense of the learning outcomes, because a lot of courses have learning outcomes that a little bit vague, and to like quickly understanding, oh, what is this course about, what are the focus of this course, I asked ChatGPT to simplify the learning outcomes and then use analogies as example. So quickly, this course is about like contemporary issues in marketing and then innovative ways to for business to adapt with the environment. Next, please. So you can see here it translated for me from the three learning outcomes into something very visualized, into something like easy to understand. Like the first one thing of the macro influences, like you're on a boat and you have winds, you have water, you have condition that affecting you as an environment. Exactly like how macro environments is affecting your business, and using marketing as a tool to like adapting to the environment. And it's like a Swiss knife. You can see in point number 3 is marketing is like Swiss knife. You have different tools and you need to learn how to use it properly. Yeah, so that's the focus of this course. Thank you. And you can see the second way that I use ChatGPT is to generate a lot of example and scenario from the concept that the student need to understand. So here is a brand portfolio. So in a home brand portfolio, you have sub brands, and in the sub brands, they have a different roles. So think of like Coke and Coke diets, two different roles, right? That's the flanker brand, and a cash cow is like the flagship, the money making one. Entry level is the affordable, and prestige is like the fancy kind of thing. So the student needs to understand the concept, but how do we make sure that they can apply the concept to the actual like situation or to the actual client? Is that I use ChatGPT to generate example for me using the real brand in the market. So next, please. Yep, you can see ChatGPT give me the example for each role of the brand. It also explaining to me like why is it the brand is having that role, and then I use that to communicate with the academic. And we also going back and forth a little bit. If you can go to the next slide, you can see the final results. Yeah, this is the HFAB drag and drop. So students just simply drag matching the example with the correct role. And when working with the lecturers, we think that the example can be a little bit relating to Vietnamese market. So we're going back with the ChatGPT and improve it. So you can see Vietnamese is really like local, so student can feel a bit related to the brand that they see every day. Okay, next please. Another example to create example is from a video, like this video talking about that type of logos, right? Branding, everything. And I can put into ChatGPT quickly asking it to just summarize it and giving me one example for each type of logo. Next, please. Yeah, you can see that I simply copy and paste the whole transcript, and it will give me the summaries and also giving me example for each type. So very quick and easy to do this. It's useful for communicating with the academic because they can see the result right away and they can tell me how they feel about the activity. Next, please. Another example is when I don't use real brand example in the market, but I ask ChatGPT to generate like hypothetical brands. You can see here is the peso concept, and I want students to identify for that company with this goals and objective, which media type would they use. So next, please. You can see ChatGPT generate 4 different company for me. Of course, they are not real, but ChatGPT is good at giving like background info and then adding the goals and then objective in. So the student need to read through the scenario and then they can identify which media form would fit for that business. Yeah. Next, please. Some other ways of doing those things is also from the scenario and example kind of thing. But instead of like quizzes or drag and drop, you can also have like discussion. They can read through one example and put discussion on that scenario. Or instead of copying from a video, I can copy from an article and then asking it to summarize and generate like quizzes or example for me. They can see on the right one. Okay, next please. Um, that is my 2 ways. This the final way. This the thing that I do when I in a meeting with the lecturers. And for example, they put a video on Canvas, and for us, we don't just want the student to watch the video without any instruction or any engaging activities. So I can open ChatGPT and put the whole transcript into it and then ask it to generate a quiz, and I can use it to start bouncing ideas with the academics. So let them to like, improve the quiz format, and they can also revisit the video and improve it. And then we have a very engaging quiz for the students. And next, please. Instead of a quiz, you can also ask ChatGPT to summarize a tutorial into steps. So this is the tutorial for students to like create a e-commerce and also analytics format, and they have to follow a pretty long tutorial. But in order for them to be comprehensive and have the video in a cohesive way, I asked ChatGPT to summarize it into like 5 steps, and then they can arrange the step in order, and when they're done with the activities, they can have like a summary of the steps, and it's easier for them to organize what they need to do first and then the second one. So that's all for me. It's like my 3 main ways how I use ChatGPT. Of course, like it's not it's never like the final ending thing that I will completely use in the canvas. It's mostly the starting point, and then I use it to communicate with the lecturers. We improve it, and then we hope it's gonna be useful for the students. And if you want to see more things that we do on Canvas, please feel free to contact me via Teams or in the QA, and I can we can talk about these things. Okay, that's all for me.